Ford was built on the belief that the world doesn't get to decide what you're capable of. You do. So ask yourself, can you or can't you? Can you load up a Ford F-150 and build your dream with sweat and steel? Can you chase thrills and conquer curves in a Mustang? Can you take a Bronco to where the map ends and adventure begins? Whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. Ready, set, Ford.
Shopify's point of sale system helps you sell at every stage of your business. Need a fast and secure way to take payments in person? We've got you covered. How about card readers you can rely on anywhere you sell?
Thanks. Have a good one.
Yep, that too. Want one place to manage all your online and in-person sales? That's kind of our thing. Wherever you sell, businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 a month trial at shopify.com/Spotify. Shopify.com/Spotify.
Retirement isn't just about closing out your career. It's living the life you've always dreamed of. With New York Life, you get the financial guidance to make it real. Start today at NYL.com.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary, not available in all states or situations.
Q.
What's the word?
It's Packer week. You ready?
Packer week. We bearing the fuck down. That's what we doing. I've been bearing the fuck down all week. Can I say that? Can I use them 4-letter words on this podcast?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, I wasn't even asking. I was just...
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay, because I was telling you that's what I was going to do. It's no demure behavior. We ain't heard that word in a while. Do we not use demure anymore? Was that just like
that was just a TikTok fad for 2024. Okay. In 26, we out of that.
We out of the demure stage?
Yeah, we're not using that word no more.
Oh, damn. I'm behind.
But we got to talk about the elephant in the room, Q, or rather, the bear in the room. Just as this team is sitting on 10 wins and preparing for the biggest game in years against them green Bozo the Clowns from Wisconsin, we get hit with this stadium drama all over again. I think our first episode was talking about stadium bullshit, right? Like, read the room, Kevin Warren. Not right now, bro. Everyone at Hallis Hall needs to be locked in.
Ain't nobody trying to hear about no Gary. Well, we don't want to hear about no Gary right now. But we're not trying to be no Indiana.
We don't need this right now, Kevin.
No.
You released this open letter to the fans saying we're reopening the search. We thought it was Arlington Heights. Then it was the lakefront. Then it came back to Arlington. Now you're looking at Northwest Indiana. Bullshit. I think I can speak for all of Chicagoans when I say that we have a deep hatred for Wisconsin sports teams. And as the unofficial voice of Chicagoans, I think it's to a man that Chicagoans hate Indiana 1,000 times more than they hate Wisconsin. True or false?
I mean, I'm Indiana K, I'm Wisconsin K, but I ain't gonna lie to you. Green Bay, I'm Green Bay K before everything, though. GBK every day, though. It's not just this weekend.
But we got to talk about this thing in any case. Chicagoans, we look down on Indiana, right? I mean, what Kevin talking about is like wifing up the hood runner, if you know what I mean. It's like turning a hoe into a housewife.
No disrespect to the hoes, because everybody love hoes, though. We love the hoes. We just don't love them that much. Let me rephrase that. We don't love hoes. We like and appreciate hoes. And they have a place in our society. Hoes are important. They are essential to every relationship out there. If you know, you know. Hoes either going to test your relationship or help your relationship. One of the two. But hoes are always be there in the relationship.
All of this is Kevin telling all of Facebook that he is trying to get into a relationship with an eater. And Kevin, you cannot do that, Joe.
You can't be over there with the eats. And it's like Indiana is cool. That's where you go when you struggling in Chicago. Like you want to stay home, but you ain't your money not right. So you just go there to get that little, $850 rent, that 2-bedroom, Miller Beach, Miller Park, whatever it is. You go out to Gary Chill there, get your bag right, and then you come back across the border. But you don't really stay there. You go buy you a little house, you know what I'm saying? Get you a little ID out there. That way you can get access to the. You know what? I can't spill too much of the hood business.
Yeah,
You know what?
yeah,
I'm not even going.
you're
But
doing
there's
too much
reason to
right
go
now,
to
Q.
Indiana.
You're doing too much.
You just need your ID.
You're
You
doing
just need an Indiana ID, but you stay out of there though.
right. You're doing too much. You only supposed to go do your dirty business with the eater and then come back. Can come back home like nothing happened. You go to Indiana to get cheap gas, then you come back. You go to Indiana to get cheap squares, then you come back. Before gambling was legal in Illinois, you go over the line, put your little parlay in, and then you come back.
That's it.
You go to the boat, play some blackjacks, hit the buffet, then you come back. We look. I know you was going to spill the sauce. Don't do that. We look down on our nose at people that run the Hammond or Gary to buy a house, and I understand you want to get your bread up. You got to get back right. Facts are facts. We look down at people that got to do all that. I mean, Kevin, you OC for this, dog. You really out of pocket.
To translate, you a goofy.
For those of y'all not following this thing up close, let's recap this thing real quick. First things first, that open letter, to me, it screams that Kevin is just using Indiana as a leverage. He dropped this news right before the spotlight is on the team as they play the Packers, just to shift the narrative to the state of Illinois, basically saying to the public, are you guys going to let this team lead the state? It's politics 101, if you ask me.
That's all it is.
It comes down to money and taxes. J.B. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois, along with the state legislature, they told the Bears that they need to pay off that remaining debt on the Soldier Field renovations that happened 20 years ago, which is about $400 million. They got to pay them bonds off as a condition to the state to even discuss helping the Bears with the infrastructure in Arlington Heights. So, you're following along? Good. Next step. Remember, the Bears did not issue them bonds. The city did. And they were supposed to be paid off by them high-ass hotel taxes. Who pays hotel taxes? Me, when I'm in town. I pay. Them hotels are not cheap anymore. Even Stony Moe, not cheap anymore.
What them hotels hitting for, even in the suburbs? 170? They ain't playing.
Oof.
After tax, 150,
Nah, they're not.
170?
That's even before you even got to do the incidentals. They run pockets. They run in pockets now to pay for the Bears.
I couldn't imagine what they cost.
The Bears trying to get up out of
You're
that.
probably looking at $250, $300 a night on the weekends.
For some of them. There's some that it's some. You know what? I'm getting. I don't want to get too deep in the weeds because there's some of them that yeah.
You got to protect your
team takeover.
You can't spill the sauce because everybody be in your little room when you come in
No,
town.
you can't do that.
Right?
Can't
They're
do
gonna
that.
be getting it cracking in your room, stinking up the room, smelling like cheap perfume and cologne and Reggie weed.
Ooh, you got to keep that out of my room. So
yeah, go to Stony Moe with that, or go to a little shit on Halsted. You know, little Halsted rooms.
I know the little Halsted rooms. 100. What's that?
103rd.
100 Halsted. So the hotel tax is supposed to be paid. Well, the bond's supposed to be paid by them hotel taxes, not by the team. So if you have the state making demands, it seems like they really just not trying to play ball with you. They trying to force you to do something you ain't even got no business being a part of. Then you had this issue in Arlington Heights. The Bears bought that land, but they can't get the tax certainty that they want. A tax certainty is basically a tax break that normal developers would get. They want to develop all that crap that they want to do just like if you ever been to the Battery in Atlanta, they want to do a massive entertainment district, hotels, housing, all of that with the stadium at the center of it. They want to do the works. They want to do it up big, but they don't want to be taxed at the rate that a real estate developer would get taxed. They want a special rate because they're a sports team. Does that sound right to you? It don't sound right to me either. Arlington Heights ain't budging on that. And the schools don't want to lose that revenue, which in my opinion is fair. In fact, let me go a little deeper than that. We already said that a true tax certainty would mean that the team is taxed at the exact same rate as any other real estate developer in the surrounding area. Instead, the Bears are seeking certainty that they'll be taxed at a different rate, a preferential rate, a sports team rate. Why do the Bears think they can play like a real estate developer and not get taxed as one. You want to build hotels and housing and keep the revenue. Basically, F the taxpayers in Cook County and Illinois. In full disclosure, I think the Cubs did the same thing too, but Chicago has a history of bad deals and in learning the lesson after the fact. Shout out to Mayor Daley selling the parking meters for $1 billion when, the parking meters made half a B every year. Shout out to him.
How were public streets owned by private groups?
Saudi Arabia getting fat off Chicago parking. Anyway, the Bears want to own the land rather than lease it from public, which would generally be tax exempt since there's no tax on public owned land. And they feel that they should be subject to a standard property tax. I think otherwise, but my opinion. Another thing, Kevin said in that letter that the Bears are not asking for public money, which is not true. It's not true, since asking for infrastructure funding and tax breaks is the same as asking for public funds, because all of that stuff come out of you and I pocket.
Hey, Kevin, I ain't got it.
Instead of
I ain't got it, bro. I ain't got it. I'm gonna just tell you, I ain't got it.
It would be better just to give them money to build that thing rather than tax breaks, because property tax, I don't know if anybody's out there, especially, if you live anywhere around Harvard, you've been hearing a lot of this a lot lately with all they got going on. Property tax is based on zoning. And right now the Bears want the zoning for developing undeveloped land instead of what's going to actually be on that land, which is going to be billions of tax dollars not coming back to Cook County, Illinois. Which brings us to Indiana. Q, how big of a threat do you think Indiana really is?
You're supposed to hit me with on a scale of 1 to 5. That's your specialty. On a scale of 1 to 5,
you're right.
I'm gonna say a 2. I think the Bears are getting desperate. I don't think they want to be in Indiana. They want to be in the South Loop. That's their first choice. They would do Arlington Heights if they can get Arlington Heights to budge on some of the things that you specified. They don't really want to be in Indiana. That's over there. They trying to flirt with that little eater, trying to make it seem like they're going to leave. They don't want to leave. They just fed up. Kevin being a diva. And the McCaskey, too old to comprehend what's going on. Too old and too cheap.
Indiana's governor, he put his nose in our business and blew off some dog whistles about them being business friendly. If you understand what that means, you understood what he was talking about. His state offers low taxes and has passed special sports authority legislation recently to specifically attract teams like the Bears or the White Sox out of Chicago. So that legislation does allow for tax certainty and big breaks for big businesses that the Bears have been demanding this whole time. Similar to the tax incentives that allow the Colts to build their new stadium down there in Naptown. The broader economic environment that they have in Indiana, which offers low taxes, lower construction costs, compared to what you have in Chicago. It's I'm not gonna cap. It's a better business move for any business owner. I mean, let's be honest. Northwest Indiana is better to commute to than for Chicago fans, rather than going to Arlington. In fact, it's closer than Arlington, Q.
As long as you don't take that little weird ass thing, that little toll on Stony Island, which I don't know why the GPS always be trying to tell me to go down there. That's not fast.
I hate that.
That 1 minute, and you cost me like $10. Quit playing with me, GPS. Stop playing with me.
The Skyway.
The
Skyway is some bullshit.
Stop playing with me like I'm not from the city, like I'm from out of town. Like that's I wonder how many out of towners end up on that Skyway not knowing no better.
That Skyway is some bullshit.
Man, I ended up on the Skyway one time by accident. I think I paid like $20 in tolls.
Man, and they gonna get you. They not playing. I don't know who does that money go to? Who does that money go to? Because I gotta holler at them. You gotta run that back.
Yeah. I don't know about this whole Indiana thing. This really blindsided us, and I feel the same way you have. I've been listening to some talk radio shows, and they're like, "Why this week, Kevin? Why this week do you want to tweet with Chicago and create that type of distraction?"
Kevin tweaking on this, man, for real. But look, I'm gonna end the segment on this. It's the Chicago Bears. It's the sports pride of the city. Moving to Indiana is a bridge too far. I already didn't like the Arlington bullshit. But Indiana, you pissing me off with that.
I could do Arlington. I should shoot right up 294. I could do Arlington. I don't want to listen. I'm not trying to do too much because we got Northwest Indiana fans, and I rock with them. It's all one nation at the end of the day. We might have our little jokes and everything, but I ain't gonna lie to you. It smell a little different once you cross that border. When I be going down Sibley, when I go down Sibley and I cross Torrance, it starts smelling a little different. Once I get past that little Baba's, once I get past the little bowling alley, I smell it. You know what I'm saying? You get to that Luke's, it's a different smell. I don't know what that smell is, but I don't like it. It smells stale. It smells old. I could tell the difference just by if you blindfolded me and you put me in either the city or the south suburbs, either one, and then you cross me over that border, I would know where I'm at just by the smell. I'm not trying to smell that. Somebody said the Bears just need to play in Thornton Quarry. You know about Thornton Quarry, right? Go play there. Just go play in the Quarry. I mean, it's enough room, ain't it?
It's
Build
big
us a
enough.
little ramp. Build us a little ramp. We ramp down there. We play in the Quarry. They ain't doing nothing else with the Quarry, are they?
No,
All
they
right,
not.
we play there. Damn, problem solved.
Us fans ain't on none of this right now, dog. The team is 10-4. They have a 96 chance of making the playoffs. Caleb Williams playing great football right now. Instead, we're not talking about beating Green Bay. We're talking about property taxes, bond debt, and Indianimals. JB, Kevin, McCaskey, y'all need to get in the room, and I don't care what y'all got to do behind them closed doors, but when y'all come out of that room, put your clothes on and have that shit figured out.
Billionaires out here playing around. JB, I don't even know how many billions you got. I said billions. When I say billions, I know JB ain't got 1 billion. He ain't got 2 billion. He's somewhere in that. I mean, the man said he got more money than Trump, and I don't think it was capped. JB got to have the Pritzker family. JB got to have four B's in his bank account. 5 B's.
They got hotel money. They got money.
The McCaskies got money. I don't know how much. They got enough.
I don't know about that.
They got money.
They got enough. They got more than me.
Money.
I know that much.
They got enough. It's enough billions in that room and in that conversation where a stadium should be able to be built and we don't have to suffer. That we don't have to raise our taxes. Both of y'all love the Bears, right? Pritzker, you love the Bears, right? McCaskey's, y'all love the Bears, right?
I just seen JB at Old Fashioned Donuts. Hey, don't pull up in Chicago unless you're getting some shit done, John.
JB
don't be in Roseland.
JB really be in a city like that though. Like he really be downtown. Like for a billionaire, he really be out. I don't know if he gonna go to the trenches, but he be in the city though.
I seen him at Old Fashioned. He was in. That's the trenches. If the trenches is whatever you think about the trenches, that's the trenches. Roseland is the trenches.
He was in Roseland?
Old Fashioned Donuts.
Oh, you said Old Fashioned Donuts?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I mean, JB got that mob money too. You can't touch JB. JB connected.
Listen, JB and the rest of y'all, I get this shit figured out, man, because the rest of us, we waiting on this game to actually start. Let's hope this product on the field Saturday is a lot less complicated than the one in the boardroom. Oh, and before we skip, to you, Indiana, get out of our business, G. Take the White Sox and be cool.
The White Sox definitely fit with Indiana. You know what I'm saying? You could let them play a little high school. Let them play in South Bend. South Bend Sox actually got a ring to it.
Don't they have is one of them teams is in South Bend, right? Oh, it's the Cubs. The Cubs got a minor league in South Bend. See, they already got a stadium for the Sox. They can fit all the Sox heads right there.
Sox can have a 3-game series with the farm team down there. I bet you any money the Sox take 2 out of 3 from the Cubs minor league team.
Maybe.
It'll be a good series.
I got to see the pitcher matchups.
You know what? You're right.
It would definitely be contentious.
It would be a fair series. And maybe in October, since the Sox ain't doing nothing in that stadium anyways, maybe they can have a 7-game series against the best minor league team. No, that's too much. I wouldn't want to embarrass them by having them face the best minor league team. Let them face one of the top 5 minor league teams in a 7-game series. That'll be interesting. See if the Sox can beat them.
They probably won't. Let's move on to our game preview. Let's talk about the quick history. Even though these two teams just played 13 days ago, let's run that down real. The Bears come into this game 10-4. Like I said, the Packers are coming in 9-4-1. I think that one is actually a loss, but I'm gonna just read what's on this paper. The game is gonna be at Soldier Field at 7:20 Chicago time. The line keeps moving. I've seen the Packers favored by 1.5. I've seen the Bears favored at 1.5. Right now in front of me, they got the Packers favored by 1, total 46.5. Green Bay is led by Jordan Love, who has 4 passing yards on the season with 23 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. Romeo Doubs is their leading receiver, 47 catches, 578 yards, 5 scores. Josh Jacobs is their RB1 with 890 rushing yards and 13 TDs. For the Bears, Caleb Williams checks in at 3,150 yards, 21 TDs, and 6 interceptions himself. Rome Odunze is the leading receiver for the time being. Somebody might snatch that from him soon. He's got 44 catches, 661 yards on the season with 6 TDs, and DeAndre Swift leads the Bruise brothers coming out of the running back room with 935 yards and 7 TDs. The Green Bay Packers have won 4 of the last 5 meetings. And Q, let's go ahead and talk about that injury report. The Packers have a lot of people on the injury report, bad, but let's start with the Bears. Rome Odunze has already been ruled out with that stress fracture of his foot. Luther Burden is out for this game too with an ankle injury. DeAndre Swift, questionable with a groin injury. That's kept him limited all week, but we expect him to play. Same thing with Cole Kmet. He's dealing with an ankle and knee injuries, but he will also play. Tremaine Edmonds, his window to return has been opened. After being on IR with a groin injury, he was a full participant in practice. And the expectation is that he would be elevated in time to play in this game. Jalen Johnson, he's on the injury report, but there's no expectation that he might miss. Going on to the Packers. Michael Parsons, out for the season. Josh Jacobs, knee and ankle injuries. He did not practice on Wednesday or Thursday, but intention is that he will play. Christian Watson, he's been limited all week with chest and shoulder injuries, but also expected to be available come Saturday. Zach Tom, the right tackle for the Green Bay Packers, questionable. He did not participate in practice last week, and he has not done any this week due to a knee injury. And Devontae Wyatt, he remains out. He's a defensive tackle for the Packers. He remains out due to a bunch of injuries. Also, the Packers may be without guard John Williams and Evan Williams. So, Q, how will the loss of Luther and Rome affect the Bears' offense?
We're obviously going to be short an explosive guy in Luther Burden, a guy who's run after a catch, a steady guy, and Rome Odunze, who's really built up chemistry with Caleb Williams. So I anticipate the Bears run a lot of 12 personnel because right now the only receivers who have been mainstays in the Bears lineup, guys that getting snaps are Oladame Zaccheaus and DJ Moore. They're the only 2 receivers that have been regulars in the Bears lineup. I anticipate Ja'Day Walker will be elevated. Devin Duvernay may play some more offensive snaps than normal. It's going to affect the Bears from a standpoint. Their depth is going to be limited. They're probably going to do a lot of 12 personnel, which I actually think they were kind of moving towards that anyways, because they were really versatile in that 12 personnel with Loveland being able to transition to a 2-point stance and give you a lot of things that wide receivers give you. It'll affect the Bears, but I don't think it'll be something that overcomes them. I think Ben Johnson's versatile enough where he can run do a lot of things that he does in 12 personnel that he does in 11 personnel. So no doubt we'll miss Burden's explosiveness and his run after catch, and Rome being a steady guy. I think we can overcome it. But it's concerning whenever you lose 2 receivers that are regulars like that. So, but the thing is, the Bears have been next man up all year. There's no reason to think that that they won't continue to roll and adjust. And it is not just rolling; it's adjusting, and that's really a credit to this coaching staff. this is the best coaching staff we may have had in Chicago in our lifetime, as Bear fans. Yeah, even better than Nagy's initial um, coaching staff with Vic Fangio in there, because it's just an all around, it's a deep coaching staff. And my condolences to the Antoine Randall L family. I'm pretty cool with the family. His cousins passed away, Dewana, only 37 years old. So rest in peace to her. My condolences. Yeah, but the Bears coaching staff, very, very good staff. So I anticipate them making the necessary adjustments and us coming out and being able to continue rolling offensively.
Which is the loss of those two wide receivers for the Bears more significant than the loss of Michael Parsons to the Packers?
No, because I think Ben Johnson can scheme, and you can get some of the things out of Colton Loveland that Rome does, providing a big target. You also get some things that you wouldn't get out of Burden in Rome, because Colton is a bigger target, a bigger red zone target, more height. And even though Rome and Luther are they're very good blockers at the wide receiver position, but having big bodies like Loveland and Kmet in there, the majority of snaps, makes you very versatile in your in your run blocking and in your blocking scheme in general. Micah Parsons is no mistake about it. He's a goofy, but he's an elite talent. Um, and no disrespect, but you put on that Packers uniform, you sign a long-term contract, you can't be nothing but a goofy. You did it to yourself. You did it to
That's
yourself.
facts.
You did that. You could have stayed in Dallas for all that. You would have been a sissy, but at least you wouldn't have been a sissy and a goofy. You a sissy and a goofy now. So, despite being a sissy and a goofy, Michael Parsons is a very good player, an elite player. Like as far as edge rushers, only Myles Garrett is hands down better. I could probably say T.J. Watt is better. I would put Mike above Max Crosby and ahead of Brian Burns, but he's one of the best in the business. So I think the Packers would be more effective, because without Micah Parsons, there's no reason to double team anybody on that Packers defensive front. Rashawn Gary's a very good player, but he's not a guy that you have to scheme around. You know what I'm saying? You might throw a little extra tension, a chip around, or now that he's the most effective pass rusher, because Lucas Van Ness hasn't really shown anything yet. That's the guy the Packers took in the first round a few years ago. Remember, the Bears were rumored to like him. I think the Packers took him like 13, 12, something like that. But Lucas Van Ness has not emerged as a difference maker yet. Rashawn Gary is a good player, but he's kind of in the Montez Sweat, tier. You know what I mean? He's not one of the elites. He's not the guys right under the elite. Because I would say, as far as edge rushers, the guys under the elite would be Brian Burns, Nick Bonito, those guys. I don't think Rashawn Gary is necessarily in that next category under the elite, which is very good. He's in the Montez Sweat category, which is kind of the third tier under the elite and really close to elite. Still a very good player. He's a guy who can get you Pro Bowls. He's a Pro Bowl quality player, but I don't think he's a game wrecker. You know what I mean? I don't think he's a guy that just wrecks your game plan like a Michael Parsons can. So I feel, Michael Parsons is the biggest loss of the injuries in this game.
Last time these two teams played 13 days ago, the Bears' game plan was heavily dictated on, Michael Parsons, basically, right? Without him, Ben Johnson can open up the playbook. He can put in a lot of different formations rather than dedicating resources like, using tight ends and running backs to chip an edge like Michael Parsons.
One protection schemes his way, yeah.
Exactly.
And
Parsons was a problem in that first half.
Didn't even get a sack in the game, but he was still a problem.
In that first half, he had Caleb flustered, which is why you saw in the second half Ben responded by moving Caleb out of the pocket to the right in the second half. Without that type of pressure in this game, Williams will have cleaner pockets. I'm expecting Williams to have cleaner pockets. You don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. But I'm expecting him to have cleaner pockets, more time to operate, which could allow for more explosive plays down the field. If you got DJ Moore in your fantasy playoffs, I would start him. In the previous game
I
against
do.
Green Bay, Moore only had one catch, and that was for negative yardage, but he did bounce back with 2 touchdowns against Cleveland. I expect that to continue, especially with Luther and Rome not in the picture for targets. Q, how do you think the Packers defense will respond after they got lit up by Bo Nix last week, and now that they don't have Michael Parsons?
I think it's the defensive unit that might be real. They never had a lot of depth in the secondary. What's the safety that you like that the Bears probably should sign? McKinney, Xavier McKinney.
Yeah.
Very good player, but he's not having a year he had last year. Not turnovers, not in coverage. Their secondary is a little thin. One of the things they had going for the secondary was the pressure that the front four could create. Without that type of pressure, you leave the secondary exposed a little bit longer. I feel like even though the Bears are down 2 receivers, you got to attack that secondary. And you don't just have to attack them with wide receivers. You can attack them down the seams with safeties. You can spread them out, attacking the edges and the flats with running backs. You can go vertical. You can go crossing routes with DJ and Zacchaeus and Ja'Day Walker if he plays, or Devin Duvernay. You got enough to challenge that secondary that won't be backed up by an opposing pass rush. Let's face it, when you lose a Michael Parsons, you lose a lot of ferocity in that pass rush. Wyatt's not playing. You lose a guy who really does a great job of collapsing a pocket and taking on double teams in a run game. So I think the Packers defense will still be reeling. I think I don't think it's just going to be a defense you're going to just pick on, but they're a little susceptible. I think the Packers defense is pretty solid last year without Micah Parsons. Obviously, at times when Parsons played and in a few games, few limited times Wyatt played, they were really a force. But it makes the defense a lot more vulnerable. It affects run fits. It affects everything without that Micah Parsons there. So the Bears last week, 2 weeks ago against the Packers, they did something strange. I think that was the first game in several games since the bye that the Bears didn't have an explosive run. You know, the Bears are always generating 10 or 20-yard runs. They didn't have one. Even though they ran the ball effectively, it wasn't the dominance we've seen in the last 10 games running the ball. I think this week you're going to get a return to being able to not just control the ball. Because I think the Bears controlled the ball against the Packers for 34 minutes. And I think they ran 20 more plays than the Packers did. So
Right.
things were really, when you look at the box scores, it was a close game, but it was a game that the Bears really could have won that game. I think we really didn't take advantage of the key things. Not just the last sequence where Caleb threw an interception being late to commit, but we gave up too many explosives. I think Dennis Allen makes an adjustment there. And you see more quarters coverage, more too high looks. Josh Jacobs banged up. And even though the knee is structurally sound, it sounds like he's really hurting. So, yeah, I expect the Bears run game to really respond this week, tomorrow night.
I think they might play a lot more zone against the Bears offense, especially if they can't get to Caleb pressure or actually sack him with just a 4-man rush. They might play more zone to cover up the blitzes. However, they did try that last week, and Bo Nix, another player that was drafted in Caleb's draft class, he carved them up. 4 touchdowns to 4 different receivers, 302 yards. He had like 123 passer quarterback rating.
Best Bo Nix game I've seen.
By a lot, by far.
Caleb follows suit. They on the ropes. Finish them.
Another thing I'm expecting to see out of this offense against that banged-up defense in Green Bay, tight end usage. The Bears should come out in 12 personnel a lot. Even though Cole Kmet's battling injuries, that game-winning pass, the pass that ended the game was directed to him. I'm expecting him to have an answer for that. Colston Loveland. I think Colston Loveland might end up leading this team in reception yards come Saturday after this game. As Colston Loveland's got more and more infused into the game script, he's a mismatch for a lot of teams.
Yes,
The
he is.
linebackers can't cover him. DBs are too small to tackle him. And a lot of if go look at that Cincinnati game, linebackers don't want to tackle him either. So Vikings too.
I want to see Caleb next evolution in Caleb's game. I'd love to see him give more 50-50 balls to Colston Loveland. Let him little boy these safeties. Like you said, linebackers don't want to tackle him. Safeties don't want to. He's a big mismatch, and he's a physical kid. Yeah, let's throw it up to Colston, even if he's in tight coverage. Give him a chance to make a play. Give him a chance. He's a good athlete, great hands, adjusts to the ball well. I'm with you. More Colston, and I do think he can lead this team in receptions and receiving yards Saturday night.
While we're talking about the passing game, Caleb Williams, he's coming off what I think may be one of his best games of his career, and possibly definitely in the conversation for this season, where he destroyed Cleveland. He displayed great mechanics, displayed great coverage anticipation, delivering the ball on time with necessary spin on the ball and taking some off when necessary. And if he can carry that over and actually have a fast start against the Packers, this whole game is different. The whole type of game is different.
Yep.
We want to see that versus what we saw last time with the slow start, all the inaccurate passes. Like I said, he didn't complete his first pass against the Packers, I think, until the first quarter was damn near over by the time he threw a ball that was catchable. So we figured if he starts, he's the key. He's the key for the offense. He starts fast, the team starts fast. And as we've seen, when this team starts fast, they don't stop. Once the ball is rolling, the game it's going to be like that for 60 minutes, and you got it. You catching that L.
Sidebar, you talking about Caleb and carrying over. I just heard some interesting. Matt Ryan was talking about quarterback development, and he said it was the end of his third year when he realized he was actually pretty good, and it was the fifth year when defenses could no longer fool him, where he knew what he was looking at pre-snap and even post-snap when they were diagnosed, when they were disguising coverages, where he could figure it out looking at it. And Andy Reid said, when Pat was going crazy, I'm talking about 50 touchdowns, he said, Pat don't really know what he's looking at. So to expound on what you were saying, Caleb's at the end of his second year, heading into his third year. You talking about carrying over. Caleb's been playing since day one. So yeah, I think it's very realistic that Browns game could be what keeps carrying over through the rest of the season and his playoff run with Caleb.
It needs to. As you said in our review of that Browns game, you said Caleb was practicing mad. I like that.
The teams really do not like each other, genuinely. Ben Johnson, shout out to Ben Johnson, really getting under the skin of Mike. I love to see that Ben Johnson embracing the rivalry. We haven't had anybody really embracing that rivalry since Lovey. Lovey knew how important it was to beat Green Bay. Matt Eberflus just came in here. We thought that you finished the games. We want to win all the games. Shut your bitch ass up. That's why you're not here anymore. So tired. Got so tired of hearing dude. That's stupid. I hated it when he grew a beard. He shouldn't be one of us. Bearded men got to be strong, defiant men. You look like they just slapped the beard on you. Too much estrogen.
When he grew that beard, because he thought he was swagged out when he grew that beard. He said, I got all the reds in the world now. Caleb, I got #1 quarterback prospect. Everybody, we won the offseason. He just thought he had all the reds. They came out and lost game after game after game. Like, get your ass out of here, bro. No, we ain't got shit shaking. Why are we talking about Caleb Williams being the key to the game? I think the Bears have the advantage in this matchup between their offense and the Packers defense. The offensive line, I feel, is the best offensive line in the league. And without Caleb and without Micah Parsons, I think they should be dominantly better than the Packers' defensive line. Beyond Parsons, Devontae Wyatt might also miss, which is a key interior run defender. DeAndre Swift and Cal Monungai should be able to not only have the same kind of game they had as far as yards per carry that they had 13 days ago, but I'm expecting more yards in general out of the running back room. We average about 150. I'm expecting to hit that number and hit that number cleanly against the Packers right now. Everything points to that.
Man, we on the lakefront. It's not only going to be cold, but you're going to feel that breeze from the lake. Do you really want that little bowling ball, Kyle Monungai, crashing into you recklessly for 4 quarters? I can't wait to see Swift and Monungai get 15 touches apiece. Remember what Monungai did to, was that Cooper? When he met him in the hole and you see pieces of his helmet fly off and his body do like this. He should have been in concussion protocol. Yeah, I can't wait. You think you didn't like tackling him then? Wait till you tackle him on the lakefront. It's going to be painful. And you're not going to want to do it. And I guarantee there's going to be some Olay tackles and some nice 20-yard runs with linemen escorting them down the field. I'll stand on this prediction. There's going to be a 30-plus yard run from Monungai and Swift.
Book it. The Bears averaged 3.6 yards per carry in the first half against the Packers 13 days ago. And they averaged 5 yards per carry in the second half. Well, obviously because the Bears were the best team in the second half. In fact, I think the Bears were the best team the last 18 minutes of that game. And Caleb Williams was the best player in that game. If they carry that over, it's a rout, in my opinion. It's a rout.
Statement.
So
they're going to make a statement.
Agreed. And we're gonna sew this playoff thing up. In closing, we're previewing the Bears offense versus the Packers defense. The key adjustment this week is to establish dominance early rather than what we did last time where we abandoned the run because it didn't pop early. Rather than what we did last time, and Caleb, you can't hit nobody between the numbers. We're going to get on that shit with them early. We jumping off the bus on that with them, and we pulling them off the bus too, like they used to do on Cottage Grove back in the day. All right. Let's talk Packers. Man, I used to hate that. Hey, listen, Halloween, riding Cottage Grove bus on Halloween was not.
I learned a lesson riding the L and riding buses around Chicago. Don't get into it with somebody on the bus and stay on the bus because I'm not going to get into details. Just don't do that. Get off the bus or handle your business on the bus right then and there. Don't exchange words with nobody.
Don't do it. Especially nowadays because you got cell phones. Back in the day,
Man.
they couldn't call their homies to meet you where you was getting off at. Or to meet like if you get into it with somebody on 63rd and you still on the bus with them and you get to 71st, hey, the homie's there waiting on you. Don't make that mistake. Get off. Let's go Packers offense against the Bears defense. Number one thing this game, and I'm gonna say it again. It's not glazing. Jordan Love is a problem against man coverage.
Definitely. And we learned the hard way. We learned the hard way a couple Sundays ago, and he was giving it to the Broncos early. Now, obviously, they have one tiny advantage. They got PS2 on their side, but Jordan Love was still giving it to them early. Yes, against man coverage, he's an absolute problem. And I think all 3 of those explosive plays come against man coverage?
Against man coverage, on third down.
All on third, yeah, man. That's tough.
Not only is Jordan Love a beast against man coverage, he is also the best quarterback on third down. So those two things we can't mess up again. One, because we saw this up close and personal 13 days ago, I'm expecting one player to bounce back on the defense. We talked about who's bouncing back on the offense. Caleb, DJ, Cole Kmet. It's a lot of guys that got to get they look back. On the defense, Jalen Johnson. Your time, buddy. Those 2 of those touchdowns was on him, not being in the correct depth, not poor communication in the secondary. That's just bad. Now I know he's still coming back from injury. I know he's he's not
Look more spry
he's
last
not
week.
100% Jalen.
Look better last week. He was stride for stride with Judy, and I know Judy gets a lot of flack on social media because Shador had great ball placement on that, and Judy went up and had it in his hands. But Jalen was stride for stride with him and just made a great play. When you a corner and you in great position and you're there, you could watch the guy's hands, you stride for stride with him. Good things can happen as far as pass breakups or interceptions. So that was good seeing Jalen, because Jerry Jeudy can run. If there's one thing Jerry Jeudy can do, he can run. When he came out of Alabama, he clocked his 40 in the 4.3 range. So that was a good sign heading into this week that I saw from Jalen last week.
Packers are coming into this game banged up. Defensively, we already talked about Michael Parsons being down, but on offense, let's talk about Josh Jacobs real fast. So Josh Jacobs, as you said, when we talked about the injuries, he's dealing with a lot of stuff right now. Where would you, a scale of 1 to 5, where would you put his health meter?
Man, the way in the game against the Broncos, they obviously had him on a snap count. I don't know if you paid attention, but he got really belligerent on the sideline because he wanted to get back in the game. When your team is holding, he said his knee feels terrible. He's not practicing, but it's structurally sound, so it can't get any worse. But man, having a deep contusion in the knee, we've all banged our knee on the side of something. Man, it resonates, it rings, it hurts for a couple of days. He's a professional athlete, so he's got a deep one. The health meter got to be about a 3.5, 4. And I know that's like, well, on a scale of 5, you're thinking like, well, he's closer. Listen, when you have something like a bad wheel that really affects you as an athlete, and you're a running back, your wheels are the most important thing. So I know that doesn't seem like much, but a little hitch in your giddy up can be the difference between busting a 20-plus yard run and scampering for 8 to 10 yards. So I think that is significant. That is significant. We've seen running backs when they're not at full health just not look like themselves, a fraction of themselves.
Other than Josh Jacobs, I didn't notice him being on a pitch count last week. No, I didn't pay that deep into it. But he is respected to play. One thing, other than Jordan Love, carving the Bears up through the air, Josh Jacobs ran with a lot of intensity in that game against the Bears 13 days ago. He set a lot of tones. In fact, he had the game-winning touchdown. I know the play of the game. A lot of people talk about that last play in which he threw that interception. To me, a bigger play in that game is when the Bears could have tackled him and not let him, and pretty much got the ball back earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that run.
He wiggled out of 4 defenders and got the first down and kept that drive going and eventually scored the 28th point or the 27th point for the Packers to win that game. Christian Watson. You like that guy. You think he's a pretty good receiver. He's their big play receiver.
Don't do that to me on the air. Stop playing.
You respect Christian Watson as a football player. You think he's got talent. I'm not saying you like him because he's a Packer or nothing like that, because no one likes him as a Packer.
But
you do think he got talent.
Yeah,
you do think he got talent though.
He does. I picked him up in fantasy. He's an explosive player. Don't do that.
I didn't say it, Keith.
No,
I didn't say it.
Don't do that. I'm out here playing for my money. I ain't say nothing about you perusing the free agent pool, picking up Jordan Love. I didn't do that.
Whoa. I ain't on that now. I'm not doing that.
So Christian Watson is a good flex option. Yeah, he's a guy that is a difficult matchup. He's long. He's got speed. He's a long strider. He can get vertical on you. He's a guy. I respect the football talents over there. He's unique from the rest of the Packers receivers, and that he brings an element the rest of them don't. Because they don't have a lot of guys that really stretch you or threaten you vertically. Jaden Reed is really quick. He's a good run after the catch guy. Matthew Golden was supposed to be the vertical guy. Honestly, I was never high on Matthew Golden. I think I said on this show before that he never played to the speed he timed at. I don't know if people. I watched him at Texas. I watched Isaiah Bond. I thought Isaiah Bond was a much better vertical threat than Matthew Golden. And you see Isaiah Bond has hit on a couple long passes this year in a very dysfunctional Cleveland offense. But I never thought Matthew Golden played to that 40 speed. So yeah, Watson, he gives them an element that they don't have out of the other receivers. Dobbs is a possession guy. Savion, Wicks, they're kind of possession guys. So yeah, Christian Watson is the guy that you really got to keep your eye on.
Yeah, his effectiveness in this game may be lessened because of the chest and shoulder injuries. He did catch two touchdown passes in that last matchup. So everybody, if he does play, don't let him lull you to sleep. He's still dangerous.
If he does play, I'm sure C.J. Garner-Johnson is well aware of what injury he's nursing, and if we know anything about C.J., he gonna test that injury, see if it's all the way healed. You know, do a little something on when they're in run block, and I hope they line C.J. up on him, or C.J. gets a crack at him, especially on a rundown. Please try him.
The starting right tackle Zach Tom, he's questionable. If he does not play, scale of 1 to 5. Can the Bears get more pressure coming through that right side of the Packers' offensive line?
Yeah, that's the side Montez Sweat usually lines up on. Montez Sweat you got to have a game, big dog. You're going up against a backup right tackle. You are paid handsomely. This is the game you take advantage of. You got to be in Jordan Love's face. You got to get him on the ground. I definitely would love to see if DA sends blitzes, I don't want you to leave your guys on the island with him because Jordan Love, he has beaten blitzes this year. And like you said, he's really good in man. So I was really surprised and really disappointed Dennis Allen tried him with man coverage, especially when you knew Jalen Johnson's just coming back from injury. I think Tyreek wasn't available. Kyler Gordon was out. So I just wanted to play smarter. I wanted to take advantage of the matchups. Montez Sweat, you gotta have a game, big dog. This is why we paid you. This is why we traded a second-round pick for you. I don't want to put too much pressure on you, but dog, you can't come up with a 0. You can't come up with a donut. This got to be the takeover game for you.
You brought it up. To blitz or not to blitz? The Bears utilized a lot of simulated pressures and blitzes to get at Love, but he handled them like a champ. He's the best quarterback on third down in the whole league when he is blitzed, especially when he's blitzed. If they are down the right tackle, do you send more blitzes? Do you try that again?
Yes, because here's the thing. If they're down the right tackle, I want to see what their communication is along that line of scrimmage. I want to see if the new guy can pick up the blitzes. I want to see if the communication is strong. I want to send it early. I want to test them on the first drive, see how they respond, and then keep that in my back pocket for the second half. So yes, I would encourage a blitz, maybe on early downs, maybe in favorable situations. You know, second and long, third and long, but I don't want to make it to where we let the Packers dictate what they do. I still want the Bears to do themselves, do them. I just want to be a little smarter, DA. Just be a little smarter, but I don't want them to just let the Packers dictate what they want to do.
Packers are coming off of that loss to Denver where Love was pressured on 52% of his dropbacks. He was hit 15 times and he was sacked 3 times. If Montez Sweat and Austin Booker can replicate what they did last week against the Browns, that team had 5 sacks in total. DeMarco Jackson got in there one time too. This is also going to spell a rout for the Bears. And this is in fact, everything we said about the offense is cool and all.
I got on Montez Sweat. This is a game where we need to see Grady. We need to see Grady Jarrett, a veteran, been through the war, been through some big games with the Falcons. Not lately, the Falcons haven't been good. But this is a game where we need to see Grady. We need to see you, big dog. Get the worst pressure any quarterback can face, Tom Brady would tell you, is the pressure up the middle. I know you see edge rushers get all the sacks, but the pressure up the middle, like Tom Brady said, that's what really flusters you because you got nowhere to go. It's in your direct sight where you're passing. I need Grady and Dexter. Time to have a game, especially you, Grady. We paid you here. You got your body callous. You're a veteran. And this is the money time for a veteran like Grady Jarrett. December, January, February. The money
Mhm.
time, Grady. Get your money, big dog.
That is just slightly underimportant of Caleb starting fast. But Booker and the rest of that the defensive front, they gotta get pressure. They gotta force Jordan Love to not be comfortable, because we already seen what Jordan Love can do when he's comfortable, and we can't have that no more.
Yeah.
I lived through Favre being comfortable against the Bears. I lived through A-Rod being comfortable against the Bears.
Man,
Can't do it no more. Can't do it no more. Can't do it.
who do you have the worst memories of as far as being comfortable? A-Rod or Brett?
Favre. Well, you know what? Favre is all the childhood memories. The worst memory is easily. I don't want to open up a wound, but Chris Conte.
Fourth down? Yeah. Playoffs on the line. Playoffs?
He was
Don't talk
on
about
that play. On that play, he was in the pocket for I don't know if it was exactly 5 seconds, but it felt like 5 seconds. It felt like he was turning like, hey, we
Chris
cover.
Conte was right there to be the guy he picked on. He wasn't actually in the pocket that long. Chris Conte got burnt right away. It just seemed like he was in there because he was looking, and I knew where he was looking at.
He got burnt right away. Chris Conte didn't get burnt. Chris Conte left his assignment. Chris Conte saw, the play breaking down. He saw that. I feel like, if I'm remembering this correctly, it feels like Chris Conte saw Aaron Rodgers back there too long, and he felt like they was finna get to him. So he was coming up to try to make a play on a quick pass, right? And he left. He left old boy back there, and Aaron, he saw it, and and that's our ass. That was our season.
I hate Aaron Rodgers. Ooh, I hate him. But one thing about Aaron, even when I watch him to this day, if you compromise something in your secondary, he will see it. You're not going to sneak those by him too much. Like, he doesn't have the same zip on his passes. He doesn't have the same quick release. But man, I've seen it. If you compromise and miss your assignment and you're not where you're supposed to be, Aaron will find that weak link. And Conte was always that weak link. Another one who would always get exposed with his pants down, Major Wright. Major Wright got beat a lot for Chris. Man, Major. Pissing me off. Let's not go down those bad Bear Packer memories, because that's in the past.
Nah.
Leave it alone.
We're making new memories. Now. Jordan Love, he does have a tendency to disappear and stretch, especially in, I don't want to say big games, because we've seen him in big games and he show up, right? But
especially against the Lions.
The knock on him is, I was thinking about the Lions too.
He laid belts.
The knock on him, we killing them. I don't even. The knock on Jordan Love is that he is inconsistent. We need to force that version of Jordan Love to come to Chicago Saturday. Last thing, the run defense for the Bears has been a liability at times this season. If we cannot allow Josh Jacobs, injured and all, to average 4.8 against us again. You said Grady Jarrett's name, and I'm hoping Tremaine Edmonds, if he can return, he can be a force in making sure that slows down as well. DeMarco Jackson's been great filling in for him. Even if Tremaine Edmonds is activated, he's on a snap count, I feel all the more better. Let's do our predictions, Q. You want to start?
62-3, Bears. Realistically, I kind of feel like this game will be more reflective of the last time the Bears-Packers met in the second half. I feel like the Bears running game will get started from early. I think the Bears defense will be more on point. Jalen is healthier and more stride. Tremaine back. We got a whole linebacker core back. So I don't think the Bears will be giving up 3 explosive plays to Jordan Love. They learned their lesson. I really do. Seriously, I feel like the Bears run game, I think Caleb's in a really good place. Even though he's down receivers, I think we can still control that time possession. And I think we can limit the Packers offense to being on the sideline a lot. And I think we can turn Jordan Love over again. He hasn't He hasn't thrown a lot of picks this year. He's been probably the most careful Jordan Love we've seen of his career. But that Jordan Love that likes Brett Favre and clings from his scrotum like a
Teat.
yeah, you know, he admires a little bit too much
That
of
was
Brett
a
Favre.
cow pun.
Yeah,
Because I got a lot of cows in Wisconsin. Yeah. But go on.
I feel like we can get that Jordan Love flustered on that lakefront down 2 scores. I think we can kind of coast this game. I'm not going to call this a total rout, but I'm going to call it a game where the Bears comfortably control this one. I'm going to go Bears 28, Packers 20.
You said it's going to be cold on the lakefront at kickoff. It's supposed to be about 35, 38 degrees, something like that. It's a lot warmer than it was, one, when we played the Browns, and two, when they played the
It's
Packers the
actually going
last
to be
time.
42 tomorrow, but around nighttime during the game, it's going to drop to the teens. Supposed to, yeah. Look,
But since the Bears, maybe.
Go ahead and look it
So
up. It's going to be 42 afternoon, but around kickoff time, it's supposed to drop to the 20s. And I think in the second half, it drops to the teens.
Wow. So what you're telling me is the Bears are used to playing in this weather. They're comfortable playing in this weather. That's what you're telling me.
Yes, sir.
They're comfortable playing in perfect Chicago, dare I say it, fair weather. I like the Bears to win this game 31-21. I like the Bears to, one, continue on that stride. I'm going with you. You said Caleb practiced mad leading up to the Cleveland Browns game, pissed off about what happened in that Packers game. He's got red in his eyes. Does he see green in his eyes? Does he see them dudes that tried to run his pockets, and now he back with his big homies, back with his big brothers, and ready to get back? I feel like he is. I feel like this is the coming out party, no Diddy, for Caleb Williams. I feel like right now you're about to see the ascension of the Caleb Williams era. And it's right now against this team. You can, one, put this season on the brink, and two, lock your playoff spot up with the win. I like the Bears to win by 10, 31-21. Not a rout, but a convincing win against a team that's been a thorn in our side far too long. Bear down.
Bear down.
Thanks for listening to this latest episode from the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan Channel. Don't matter if you listen to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or watch it on Twitch or YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe, share with a friend, hit the notification bell so you never miss a drop. And to all the guys from Chicago, we say 3 things. Bear down, go Cubs go, and sell the team, Jerry.